Red, you've been in clutches for how long, do you figure?
I've been in since 1966.
66?
Yes.
So we're talking Musclecar era.
We're talking all the muscle cars.
So back then, I remember, you know, I caught the end of the Musclecar era myself with the 69 Z28s. We used to just rev them up, dump the clutch, and go.
If you could push it down. We have taken the high pedal effort completely out of clutches.
Really?
Even in the single disc units, we have essentially gone larger in diameter, lesser in pressure, more holding power, more square inches. Got a lot less on the pedals.
In the old days, like you said, we used to have a lot of clamping pressure, and the square inches, they were probably not even optimizing, and
everybody
materials.
wanted to get down to 10.5 inch. Even if they had 11-inch clutch, they put a 10.5 inch disc because they thought they could shift it faster. There was so much weight to the clutch discs and all the parts at that time. With the advent of the diaphragm and its progression on holding power and capability, we have been able to reduce the pedal effort, so everybody loves to drive a diaphragm. That was all that was available in the early years. Ford had only 3-finger clutches up until they got into the almost mid-70s. And so they had what was called a long style. It was from a long division of Borg-Warner. Chrysler didn't change over to diaphragms until probably mid to late 70s. And then they started in their little cars, started going to diaphragm, but they were still running a Borg and Beck in those. Chevrolet was the first one to advance with what they used to call the low cone or flat cone diaphragm. And that was in 53 Chevy trucks. Chevy changed over completely by the time they had gotten into the 60s. So they'd gone away from the Borg and Becks, and all they had was diaphragms.
I see.
And so they had it over everybody. In that respect, the trouble is the diaphragms in those days didn't have enough straps on them, so you rev them up 7,000 RPM and they're liable to stick to the floor.
When shifting, exactly.
But the Borg and Becks and the longs, you never had to worry about that.
I see.
So those were the ones that they loved the most.
Yes, because they didn't have to worry about the clutch sitting on the floor.
Right.
In between the shifts.
But with diaphragm springs coming with much higher cones, so essentially you got your center line running across here. Once you get below the center line, the centrifugal force tries to hold it below.
Oh, I see.
So as long as you're above the center line, then it's always trying to pull it back up.
Got it.
And engage it again.